So I thought I'd have a look at what else I could do with the living willow that I've got left over from my planting of living willow fedges and wigwams. Few ideas for you. You've seen the video, hopefully some of you. So another little idea for you of what you can do with your living willow. I fancied doing something in pots that I could move around the garden that might delineate space from one section to another. I've got some very nice galvanised planters, so decided to create these little cloud fedges, for want of a better phrase. But a little planter full of these. I can dress the top of that with some stone chips. These will get beautiful, full of catkin, full of leaf, and they'll give me a nice little screen that I can move around the garden. So I'm going to show you how to do one. This is just in an old ugly tub, but I've got this about half the way full of compost, just bog standard compost. I've planted in some living willow, so that's just gone straight into the bottom of here. Nice and moist, nice and watered in well, and pushed right down. So the idea with these is that they hold themselves as you're making them, as you're working with them, and that we don't do an awful lot of tying in. So I've got a couple of the toggles of loveliness. If you've not come across these before, they are simply hair bubbles that are toggled onto a piece of willow. There's a little bit of a close-up in the Harlequin tree video of how these work. But I'm going to use those because it means that I can take them out at the end of the structure. So I'm just going to take one from any end and I'm just going to weave it in. So where it goes under one, ooh, they're a bit frisky these ones, under one, over another, under, over, under, and take that down fairly low in the design. And then I'm going to put a toggle in, and it might slip about a bit. I'm not too worried at this stage. It's just to hold that first one in. I'm then going to look at the others and I'm going to try and do the same with those. So where I've gone, this one's at your side, with the next rod it's going to come at my side. So we're starting to lock the weave in. So again, under, over, and it might be that I need another tie in there. It might be that I can come gently back on myself and weave it back across. Now what I don't want to do is I don't want to be kinking these rods. So hopefully it should just start to tie itself in. So we take each rod in turn, and you're not going to be able to go under and over absolutely everything. You might want it fairly tight, but I like it sort of loose and fluffy and a little bit cloudy. See how you go, see what design works well for you. But I am looking to just create some basic structure and some basic shape, some basic hoops. So this is on my side, so I want to be weaving it in from your side rather than keeping it on this side all the time. And I'm aiming to look for these gaps. So here I've got this massive space. What I would ideally like to do is to take this rod and cut through and across that space to fill it in. Random weave is a little bit harder than most people think, because it's not actually random, it's very considered. You're thinking all the time about where you're weaving in and how you're locking previous things in. So it might be that you might want that very tall, you might want it the same level as the other. Have a look, but generally I think the best thing with these is to just go with the flow. Don't worry too much about where you're going, so long as you're weaving in, and they seem to sort of design themselves. So this is the first one I've come back to, and already you can see quite nicely that this is starting to fill up, but I might want to add a few more in. So this is a beautiful Flanders red. I've got these flecky bits that I'm going to leave on, but I'm going to add in a few more rods, and I like to add in 2 or 3 at once before I weave in, but these are going to get back woven. So this is going to go in and out, down to the bottom of the planter, and then get plunged in. There's no easy way of weaving it without. Again, I've got a big gap here, so let's go across there and let's take it back into here somewhere. And then I think I might do another one across here. And you can take them out really easily, you know, you can adjust as you're going along, but the general aim is for you to create this beautiful cloud shape, and This is just stunning. With this willow, the colours are gorgeous. Really, really like using Flanders. And you can use whatever size you want. This is 7 foot, and it's working quite nicely in a fairly big statement pot. I still think this is a bit too tall, so I can come back and I can adjust and just pull that through a little bit. And I'm not far off, I don't think, what I actually envisage this to be. So this is more sort of like a cloud. A child would draw a cloud. But I'm going to step back and have a look, see what I think to it. I think that's perfect for what I want. I can add more in if I wanted to, but I can come back, take that initial toggle off, and then there's absolutely no binds, no tying in needed with any of this whatsoever. I could come back and consolidate some of these, move these about if they bothered me, but it's all going to grow. And all of these are going to start intertwining with each other. There's going to be new shoots coming up from here, and generally it's just very beautiful. So hope it gives you another idea of what you might do with your living willow.